All right, so welcome. Not much new for information, or nothing new for information. WebEx Help is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, so solving inequalities using multiplication and division. Today's Wednesday, and we're going to be just doing division. Okay, very similar to equations. And speaking of equations, oh, there we go. Blast from the past. All right, back when we did equations, we did the division property of equality. And remember, I'm not too concerned that you remember this terminology, but I do want you to remember two key words. Do you guys remember what those two key words are? Correct. Inverse operations. Okay, because that applies to every single operation. Just undo. So to undo or opposite. All right, so for the division property of equality, all we did, so we had, look at the algebraic equation. So 4x equals 32. All right, to get that x isolated, I had to divide 4 divided by 4. And then I did the same thing on the other side of the equation sign. So these cross each other out, and then I'm left with x, and 32 divided by 4 is 8. So x equals 8, okay? So the same exact thing to do with inequalities. Just the inequality symbol doesn't change. Instead of an equal sign, it's an inequality symbol. Okay. So for the example, I have 4x is less than 8. So 4x divided by 4 is less than 8 divided by 4, and these cross each other out again. And so 8 divided by 4 is 2. X is less than 2. All right. So very similar to equations, and also what we did in the activity from our practice journals on Monday. All right, let's do a couple examples. I'm going to do, so how I want to do this, I'm going to do the first example. So hopefully you're watching this video before you did the example. If you gave it a shot and you got it, great. But I'm not expecting to be able to do it until you watch the video. And then the next two examples, I want you to do them first and then watch the video, okay? So do them first and then watch the video. All right, so step one, so look at the problem we have. Solve 4n is greater than 32, graph the solution. So the first thing I'm going to do is write the inequality. Right? I'm just going to write it down so I can work with it. 4n, I'm going to space it out a little bit because I'm going to work right here. It's greater than 32. All right. So now I'm going to use the inverse operation to get that n isolated. And so to do that, since it's 4 times n is greater than 32, I'm going to have to do division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and these cross each other out. And then so I'm left with n is greater than, and 32 divided by 4 is 8. Right? So n is greater than 8. Right? I'm going to graph the solution, and so I'm going to find 8. I'm going to use an open circle because 8 is not included. And whatever n is going to be to the right. It's going to be greater than 8. So n can be any one of these values as long as it's greater than 8. Right, so now I'm going to check my work. Okay, so my original inequality is 4n greater than 32, and I'm going to pick, once again, I'm going to pick a number on both sides of my circle. I'm going to pick 7 and 9. So the first one I'm going to check is 7. So I'm going to place, instead of n, I'm going to replace that with 7. So I have 4 times 7 greater than 32. And so I'm going to solve that, and that's 28. Oop, I just gave away the answer is greater than 32. Is that true? Can 28 be greater than 32? And the answer is no, because 28 is less than 32. So that is not the correct inequality. So 7 is not a solution. Okay, let's try it with 9. So 4. So I'm going to put 9 in place of n. So 4 times 9 greater than 32, and then I get, so 4 times 9 is 36, and is 36 greater than 32? And the answer is yes. It's a bigger number. All right, so 9 is a solution. And I'm going to use any number. It doesn't matter. If I were to use 10, it's still going to be greater than 32. Whereas if I would use 6, it's still going to be less than 32. Yeah, it's still going to be less than 32. All right. Okay, go ahead. I want you guys to do example number 2, and then resume the video. Or not resume the video, start the next video.